Speedling combo, very, very popular against Terran players as well, because Terran's really the best way for them to defend against Mutalisks is really Thors. You can defend against Mutas if you're great with Marine Micro, which KawaiiRice obviously is. He's a fantastic player. He's been around for a while now and has been proving himself as a very strong Terran opponent, but it's difficult to control that many Marines to defend against Mutas because of how mobile they are, although it looks like he is going to do a pretty good job. But as you can see here, that immobility kicking in right now, as he is going to be able to get back to that mineral line and take off some SCVs here, and then is going to be able to move them out of the way. Oh no, he's actually not. He's totally lost control of these Mutalisks, and every one of them is going to go down because he was a little bit too careless with them. Very, very unfortunate for Bubba, although it looks like KawaiiRice still in a very, very bad position economically. He says, oops, he realizes what he has done. So I just get done praising Bubba and how great his control is and what a brilliant attack he had earlier, and then he goes and throws away 10 Mutalisks. But anyways, it looks like KawaiiRice is going to try to tip the scales back in his favor a little bit by doing a Marine drop. As you can see, he was slightly supply gapped here, and actually it looks like he is still slightly supply blocked. Here comes a bunch more Mutalisks. Did they see? Yes, they did see those medevacs. Oh no, this could be disastrous for KawaiiRice if he manages to take these out before they unload, and managing to take out the first one in the second one as well. But the second one did manage to unload a decent amount of troops, but not enough Marines to actually take on the Mutalisks that were overhead, and the Zerglings come to clean up the last lone Marauder, getting surrounded by a ton of Zerglings. And it looks like KawaiiRice really needs to continue to produce SCVs and catch up in the econ game here. You can see he is still behind about 300 to 400 minerals per minute right now, which is not good because the Zerg player has once again gotten up another expansion. So he's going to KawaiiRice is going to find himself out-resourced very quickly here if he does not get himself back in the game economically, and he really needs to figure out how to do that very soon, or he's going to be in trouble. Trying to do a little bit of Hellion harassment there, but really not getting a whole lot done. As you can see, not losing a whole lot of drones here, and he did have a Queen and some Zerglings to defend against that, but it looks like he is actually going to try to play a little bit more defensively for a bit longer here, and try to time his attack so that he can take out the expansion when it's most effective. And sending out one more SCV here, going to try to do a little bit of scouting, seeing that there was a bunch of Zerglings and Banelings there, managing to take out a couple of those Banelings by forcing them to explode, and a ton more Banelings being morphed in from Bubba right now. And Bubba, of course, getting up yet another expansion, feeling very, very comfortably in the lead right now. And it looks like KawaiiRice is going to try to move out, and he is going to have to try to get these Banelings in and do some damage here. No, he loses the first group of Banelings. The last few managed to morph just in time, although morphing in a bunch more without the support there to actually back him up. So he is going to try to push this Terran army back with his Marines and medevacs here, although there are a bunch of Zerglings and Banelings in hot pursuit. They are not going to be able to do any serious damage, managing to chip away at that Terran force a little bit, but some very good infantry micro from KawaiiRice, managing to stem the loss as much as possible, although he really needs to push out here pretty soon and do some damage, because once that second extra expo pops up here, which means he will be 2 expos ahead of KawaiiRice, Bubba is really going to be in a commanding position here, and all of his infantry once again healed back up to full, going to move out, and it looks like they are going to take out this expansion. No, he is going to back off. I thought he was going to take out Bubba's expansion there. I'm not sure. He might be aware of that there. Let me see. No, he is not aware of that, so I'm not sure why he was moving over there in the first place, but apparently deciding to back off. And here comes a ton of Zerglings and Banelings, just going to try to do a huge amount of damage here, managing to push back all of this infantry very far, taking out a decent amount of it, and the tanks being isolated, going to get taken down straight away here. And all the Zerglings and Banelings now gone, and there are only 3 Mutalisks, now 2 Mutalisks left standing, so he is going to have to retreat once again. And Bubba, again, macroing like a madman, trying to get up a decent enough army so that he can maintain map control, although it looks like KawaiiRice is once again trying to push out on the map, going to try to gain a little bit of map control here. But with the infestors on the map to cause those, to cast fungal growth on that infantry, I really don't think that KawaiiRice is going to be able to stay in this too much longer, because one good fungal growth on that is going to prevent that great micro that we were seeing. And there it is right there, and the Zerglings come in for a full surround, and it looks like they are not going to get any of those infantry units away. So great control once again by Bubba. He did lose his infestor, but managed to take out that entire infantry army from KawaiiRice. So very, very good play from Bubba once again. And I hate to call the game early because KawaiiRice is still fighting his little heart out, and he's trying to get an expansion up and running right now. But Bubba is going to be aware of it, and his expansion at the gold here is going to start kicking in very soon, because it is up and running now, and he's going to be able to devote some attention to building some drones here. Although it looks like he he is currently supply blocked, and as you can see, getting some upgrades here right now, and it looks like we are going to have ultras on the map here pretty soon as well. He does have his Ultralisk Den and is researching the chitinous plating for his Ultralisk, so this is a very, very bad position for KawaiiRice to be in, and it looks like actually Bubba was managed to cast some creep at this expansion before KawaiiRice could land his command center there, so now it is just stuck standing there waiting to land, and there's one Zergling underneath it going to force him to not land it, and he's moving his army out right now to try to take that Zergling out. And now that Zergling is gone, going to try to pick up the mining at that straight away. Although, as you can see, actually both players at a pretty bad spot economically, as it looks like Bubba trying to get up this expansion still at his gold, and he actually may need to transfer. Yeah, there are a lot of drones still sitting on this one mineral patch at his main base. He could definitely transfer some of those to one of his expansions, although it looks like he is getting ready to move out once again. A bunch of Zerglings here moving out with a couple of mutas and some overlords, so going to try to do some serious damage with these overlords, although some pretty good micro here, managing to take out one of those ultras straight away without managing to lose many of his units at all from this infantry army, and another one of them is very, very low on HP still. Although he managed to take out that expansion, it looks like Bubba is just going to retreat, although no, turning around to do some more damage right now, and going to try to get those ultras back in range again, but just not really able to do anything. And that great infantry micro from KawaiiRice once again really paying off and managing to keep him in this game, and he is quickly managing to chip his way back into this game. I still don't know if he can really do enough to take on the economic lead that Bubba has at this point, but KawaiiRice's micro is just so good that he has managed to hold on for this long, and I gotta wonder how much longer he can hold on with such a vast economic disadvantage going his way. Although if you look at the income tab right now, you can see that he is doing a little bit of damage on the high yield mineral line here and managing to lift off most of his infantry army before they were able to get taken out, and the two mutas are not going to be enough to take down those medevacs before they were able to get that infantry army away. So managing to take out a handful of drones here, it looks like, but the drones transferring from the natural are going to be enough to get a pretty solid mining operation going at this base straight away, and of course he is going to be producing more at this base. If we look at the production menu right now, we can see that he is switching into full-on macro mode using pretty much only Ultralisks. There are a couple more infestors on the map. It doesn't look like he's going to be building any more Mutalisks, at least not anytime soon, in trying to just get a dominating ground force. And if he can cast a couple more great fungal growths on the infantry army, those Ultralisks are just going to go to town, because with the splash damage attack that those Ultras have, they are just going to mow down that infantry with how clumped up they get. You can see just how closely they travel together, and if you can get a couple of splash hits from those ultras on those infantry balls, then it is just absolutely brutal. But the problem is with KawaiiRice's micro, it is extremely difficult to get those ultras close enough to actually do any damage. So we'll see if Bubba can manage to cast some good good fungal growths rather, in order to freeze that Terran army and force them to take on these ultras. And it looks like there are a handful of tanks sitting up on this high ground here going to manage to push this ultra force back. They are not going to be able to make it into KawaiiRice's base that way, but they are going to try to go in through the back door here, and actually a few more Mutalisks coming out right now, going to try to play a little bit of an offensive role here, taking out these medevacs. In a fungal growth, not really getting a whole lot other than SCVs right now, although SCVs when you're as far down, oh my goodness, never mind, some great fungal growths going down on this infantry army. And I think that is going to be all she wrote. Yeah, KawaiiRice does GG. So this game goes to Bubba. Bubba just absolutely proving how good of a player he is. He's been so impressive in the 1v1s I've seen him in. And as I mentioned, his team did incredibly well in the 2v2 tournament that we hosted, the SCBG Open. So definitely check out some more of his games if you have not. Check out the games from the 2v2. And like I said, if you have not seen him face off against Hydra in that Zerg versus Zerg matchup, definitely go check that out as well. Thanks for watching, guys. And as always, if you like the videos, comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. GG.